This is serotonin. Today you'll be learning more about him. The effects of low serotonin. Low levels of brain serotonin and dysregulation of serotonin neurotransmission correlate with a variety of neuropsychiatric disorders, for example, depression. In the central nervous system, serotonin synthesis is mainly initiated by tryptophan hydroxylase 2, a single amino acid change in the enzyme that results in loss of function mutation was found in patients suffering from depression. Drugs, like the selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, are widely used in antidepressant treatment to elevate extracellular levels of serotonin in the brain. However, the exact causal relationship between brain serotonin levels and depression is still under investigation. Higher than normal levels of serotonin can result in a condition known as serotonin syndrome. Postsynaptic neurons become hyperactive as their 5-HT receptors are saturated with serotonin. As serotonin levels rise, it can have both neurological and physiological symptoms, such as increased heart rate, sweating, fever, tremors, restlessness, and aggression, to name a few. Most commonly, it is the result of unfavorable drug interactions, but can also be caused by rare serotonin-secreting tumors, known as carcinoid tumors. Serotonin syndrome can be difficult to diagnose, as there is currently no lab test for serotonin. Sunlight. Vitamin D from sunlight activates a gene that makes tryptophan hydroxylase 2 that converts tryptophan to serotonin. Vitamin D inhibits the gene that makes tryptophan hydroxylase 1, which halts the production of serotonin from tryptophan. The chemical formula of serotonin is C10H12O2. How it's made. Serotonin is synthesized from the amino acid tryptophan through a two-step process. First, tryptophan is converted into 5-hydroxytryptophan using the enzyme tryptophan 5-hydroxylase. The second step takes 5-hydroxytryptophan and converts it into 5-hydroxytryptamine, or 5-HT, otherwise known as serotonin, using the enzyme amino acid decarboxylase. Serotonin receptors are mostly 7-putative transmembrane-spanning G-protein-coupled receptors. They belong to 7 different receptor families. Each also has receptor subtypes, which are designated by letters and characterized by different effects on second messengers and ionic conductances, as well as differential distribution throughout the nervous system. Almost all of the receptor families are metabotropic, except 5-HT3, which is ionotropic. That suggests that their actions may be more selective and faster than the other subtypes. Serotonergic synapses are chemical synapses. After being made in the transmitting or presynaptic neuron, serotonin is packaged into vesicles. Serotonin exits the neuron at its N-terminal, down which an action potential passes. Serotonin passes across the synaptic cleft and binds to a receptor. Serotonin molecules, which remain in the synaptic cleft, or that are released by the receptors, are taken up by reuptake ports on the presynaptic cell, and they are destroyed to stop the action potential. Location. Serotonin is found in the gut, blood platelets, and the central nervous system. Around 90% of the serotonin in the human body is located in the enterochromaffin cells in the gastrointestinal tract, where it regulates the intestinal movements. Serotonin secreted from these cells finds its way out of the tissues into the blood. There, it is taken up by the blood platelets, which store it. The binding of platelets into a clot releases serotonin, which serves as a vasoconstrictor and helps to regulate hemostasis and blood clotting. It also plays a role in wound healing. The brain has to synthesize its own serotonin, since the blood-brain barrier does not allow the transport of neurotransmitter into the brain. It is synthesized in the serotonergic neurons of the central nervous system. There are clusters of neurons called raphe nuclei in the midbrain, pons, and medulla regions of the brain which secrete serotonin. The two most important clusters are found in the dorsal and medial raphe nuclei. Axons from the neurons of the raphe nuclei form a neurotransmitter system, reaching almost every part of the central nervous system. Areas of the brain affected by serotonin. Serotonin pathways are mostly found in parts of the brainstem. This would include areas that control many of life's basic functions and behaviors. These functions include eating, sleeping, behavior, temperature, breathing, and simply normal functioning. The parts of the brain that serotonin pathways cross, and therefore affect when levels fluctuate, are areas such as the thalamus and hypothalamus. These two brain structures are crucial to basic functioning. The hypothalamus is responsible for keeping the body at a state of homeostasis and hormone production. This is why, when serotonin levels are low, retarded growth may occur due to lack of proper essential growth hormones. In order to keep the body at homeostasis, the hypothalamus is in charge of regulating body temperature, explaining the sudden spike in temperature when levels are high. The thalamus is a relay station for information to the brain, causing sensory information being sent through the body to be affected when levels of serotonin fluctuate. It is also one of the structures responsible for alertness. The cerebellum regulates voluntary motor movements, keeping a person balanced and producing smooth muscle movements. When levels are not normal, the body shakes and motor movements are not as controlled.